So today I'm going to be talking about my strange and my undiagnosed symptoms that don't really fit with my diagnoses, or we're not really sure what's causing it. I thought this would be good because either you can say that you relate to this, or maybe you can shed some light into what's going on, or if not, you can just share some of your weird symptoms with me, because I know I'm not the only one. So the first one I have, my friends and I have actually given it a name. We call it Hiccup heaves because twice a day for about an hour I will just start hiccuping, but it's a hiccup and then a heave, like I'm going to be sick. Except I don't feel sick when this happens. It's not caused by eating, just randomly, and definitely a lot more so towards the end of the day. I will just start doing this. When we have friends over, it can be a bit weird for them to start with because people think that I'm going to be sick. I've had people run away from me, or people like shove a bowl or a bag in my face, and then I have to explain like, no, I don't even feel sick and I'm not going to be sick. I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's just what my body does. Interestingly, I do know of a few people with gastroparesis, which is linked to EDS, that also have this. So my guess would be that it's just something to do with the stomach. I mean, stomach and diaphragm. Diaphragm is hiccups, stomach is heaves. So I feel like maybe it's a spasm that triggers the other or something. I don't know. Like I said, this is undiagnosed. It doesn't make me feel sick, so I've not gone to the doctors about it, just because I always have things that I need to prioritise to go to the doctors for, and that just hasn't come up yet. The next few symptoms I've grouped together because I know that it's something to do with the nerves that's causing this, and so yeah, they fall under that sort of category. So the first one is that the pads of my thumbs don't actually have any sensation, like I can't feel this, and when I'm typing on my phone it's really hard to do it, like you don't realise how much of it relies on your sense of touch. And I think that is a form of nerve damage or peripheral neuropathy. I've not had it diagnosed, although I am going to get it looked into just because I'm having more and more fingers affected by it. With my thumb joints being the joint that dislocates the most, it makes sense that I've just damaged a nerve or something. The next one I'm going to talk about is nerve pain. Again, this has been in my fingers. When people talk about nerve pain, I always think, how do they know what type of pain it is? But now that I've experienced it, I'm like, you just know. So I've only had this a few times, but it feels like people describe it as burning, which it is, but it's almost as though, for me, it's like my finger becomes one big open nerve, and anything that touches it is so incredibly painful, to the extent that like it would make you be sick because the pain is just so raw and acute and horrible. I've only had it a couple of times, but yeah, it's really not nice, and I'd imagine that that's just associated with the same nerve problems. The next one I've looked up because it also involves my hands and it's kind of weird, so I just googled it because it's not really causing me any problems, but it is weird, and that's that I don't know what position my hands are in, and I don't know where my hands are when I'm not looking at them. So say if I've just woke up from a nap, I can't tell where my hands are, and I can't tell if they're closed or if they're on top of each other. I just can't tell where they are. So I looked this up, and this apparently is nerve related as well. I have autonomic dysfunction, which is associated with the nerves, so I don't know if this is part of that or part of something like peripheral neuropathy or sensory neuropathy or anything. Like I said, none of this is diagnosed. This is just what I found out from looking it up, or just what I feel like it is from what I know about biology or Googling, but I would never claim to be diagnosed with any of this, although I am going to get it looked into. And the last one, which is associated with nerves and things like that, is that every now and again I will get this crazy dry mouth, and it's not like I'm just thirsty. My mouth, it feels like cotton wool, which is the best way I can describe it. It's really difficult to talk because to speak and to move your tongue and everything, like you rely on the saliva in your mouth, and when there's absolutely nothing, like I can't tell you how dry it gets, and it doesn't happen that often, but when it does, either in bed when I can't get up yet, to my friends, I'm like, I need a drink, I'm really sorry but I need a drink right now, because it's dry to an extent that I can't even describe, and I've not experienced it before. It's not even like if you go on a really long run, say, which I don't do anymore anyway, but it's not actually related to being thirsty, it's something to do with the mouth just playing up. I don't know. It happens when I don't need a drink, it'll just come out of nowhere. Okay, so another one, and I've googled this and I'm pretty sure I know what it is from googling, and this is that when I'm falling asleep, sometimes I will feel myself having like twitchy, jerky type movements. So I looked it up, and that is called a hypnic or myoclonic jerk. I don't think it counts as a type of seizure, but even if it does, it's not harmful, it's non-epileptic, and most people will experience it at least once. Typically, I will experience this if I'm napping or like dozing in and out of sleep. I will feel myself doing it. So even though I'm pretty sure I know what that is, I thought I'd include it since it says that everybody will probably experience it at least once, and if it happens to you, then you'll know what that is. The next one is a real inconvenience to me, and that is that I have to eat every 2 hours, and if I don't, I will go into presyncope. So if you look up presyncope, you'll see what the symptoms are. It can be like extreme dizziness, lightheadedness, you can black out from it, you can feel sick or be sick. It's basically the state you go into before you faint. I've had my blood sugars checked and my blood sugars are fine, so we don't know why this is happening. And when I say I have to eat every 2 hours, it can't be something small like an apple. I will eat at least 200 calories every 2 hours. And a lot of people think that sounds great, but actually it's really hard because I just have to have snacks on me at all times, and I'm just constantly eating, and yeah, it's just not as ideal as you'd think it is. And my last one is that I have extreme light sensitivity, to the extent that if someone takes a photo of me and it flashes, I will then get such severe sunspots or light spots that I physically can't see through for about half an hour, and it will make me really dizzy, so I'll then just have to sit down because I can't really see anything, and I'm really dizzy, and it's just really horrible and really intense. This can happen if there's like a little glare on a whiteboard, or if I accidentally glance at the sun, even if it's just for a second. I was looking at the sun then. Yeah, so that can be a real problem, especially for eye tests. They shine a light in your eye to check that your eye's healthy, but then like I can't see through the sunspots for half an hour, so then I can't do the eye test. And I also thought they don't take stuff like this into consideration with driving cars, so on that basis I would be able to drive, but I always think, how could I if the sun blinds me? Like, everybody gets sunspots for a few seconds if they look at something really bright, but for me it doesn't have to be very bright. Depending on the day, I can even get it from looking at a phone screen, and it will last for such an extended period of time. And it doesn't happen anymore, but a couple of years ago when this started, I'd actually fully pass out and faint from it. Now, like I said, I will just can't see past the sunspots. I feel really dizzy. Again, it can make me go into presyncope, which is that horrible phase that you go into before you faint. I actually find presyncope so much worse than actually fainting, because fainting, you're just out and gone, you're not aware of what's happening. And then presyncope, you feel like your head's going to explode, like sometimes you can't see, you feel like you're going to be sick. It's just really horrible. So they're my strange and undiagnosed symptoms. Let me know if you have any of the same, if you can give any insight into what any of these are, or if you have any weird and undiagnosed symptoms yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!